Hi, everybody. Thanks for checking out my poster. My name is James Seidel. I'm a graduate student at Colorado State University. I've included this QR code sort of video towards the end of the discussion, so I hope that the background, why we're conducting this research, as well as some of the methods that were involved in the collection and analyses, makes sense up until this point. So I just wanted to briefly go over the results. I know that it's just kind of a table, so I think it does help to provide some uh, clarification regarding what's important here. So based on spirometry, we had pre and post shift for both groups over the period of a 5-day study. So we did collect 100 spirometric analyses. And probably the most important thing when we're looking at sort of this pre and post shift, even for both the groups, is kind of this: is there a decline uh, towards the end of the day? Is there a major decline towards the end of the day? Your average person, as they go throughout their day, is going to kind of acclimate and maybe even improve on some of their pulmonary function measurements. So their FVC, or forced vital capacity, may increase. They may be able to take in a deeper breath. They may be able to blow it out faster, so their FEV1, or forced expiratory volume in 1 second, may be better. But when we're dealing with people that, or workers that have a large organic dust or bioaerosol exposure, what we're seeing is a pretty marked decrease in FEV1. So a lot of times when we're looking at dairy studies, looking at animal confinement studies, looking at their what we call a cross shift change, so comparing pre-post spirometric volume measurements, we're seeing a big FEV1 decrease, and that is consistent with these large bioaerosol exposures, and that is kind of the cause or the pathway we assume for some of these obstructive diseases such as chronic bronchitis, COPD, as well as asthma that are occurring in these populations. So, what was kind of interesting when we administered the nasal lavage is that there seemed to be kind of an improvement on this historic decrease. So, they're not quite as good as maybe like your office worker who might increase slightly throughout the day, but they are decreasing less. So we only saw one statistically significant increase, which is in peak expiratory flow rate. But if we're kind of looking at the more traditional metrics of spirometry, FVC, FEV1, and we compare those to other studies that looked at dairy workers, this top one on the right-hand side, Eastman et al., that was a larger California dairy worker, large herd dairy worker study, and the dairy farmers that received the lavage, they did better on the cross shift change in FVC and FEV1, and they did what our treatment group did even better on the FEV 25 to 75 compared to uh, their dairy workers. And then if we look at table 2B, this was pulled from a thesis study I found online from Iowa dairy workers. And what we're seeing here is really only the treatment group performed better in FEV1, so that obstruction did do better. So there is some suggestion that administering any type of lavage may increase pulmonary function for dairy workers, but it does look like the hypertonic saline nasal lavage is going to be probably the most successful in improving airway function. Of course, we are looking at a small sample size here. There's only 10 farmers and only 5 receiving the treatment. We have also changed our treatment so that everybody in the treatment group is getting a hypertonic saline rinse before and after, as opposed to just after their shift. So we are currently investigating that. We are getting a larger sample size, hopefully around 50 to 90 dairy workers for the next segment, and it'll be interesting to see how their pulmonary function results come back. So I hope you enjoyed my poster. Thanks for taking a minute to listen to this, and have a great day.